Obviously, CEH has been ill, but he came back today, suffering from PTSD, which we talked about at length on Monday, sending our prayers and well wishes out to him. And maybe that day off yesterday kind of did him some good, so he's back on the field today. But with CEH out, that's given an opening to our friend of the show, Deneric Prince, second-year running back out of Tulsa, and he's been looking pretty good. Pass pro looks 10 times better than what it looked like last year at this time. And I remember, JD, you always talk about the second-year guys or the first-year guys, pass pro, regardless of a first-round pick or undrafted guy. That's something you got to work on. And it looks like he's done that so far. But obviously, without CEH, you have a pretty young and experienced room. As much as we like Deneric Prince, we got a lot of inexperienced guys back there. So behind Pacheco. So a lot of fans are talking about Jerick McKinnon. He's still out there. And this was also prompted by a video from the Chiefs social media team, and I'm going to play it right here, which has a lot of people talking. It was already a thing. Bringing Jet back was already a thing. And then you had this video come out. I'm going to play this right here.
I miss you. It's 2, 5, and 10. I miss you. Shout out to my dog, Jetty. 2, 5, and 10. I miss you. Ooh. Shout out my dog, Jetty. 2, 5, and 10. I miss you. We miss you. Yeah. Jack gonna be like, my dog, baby! Oh, my
That's fantastic. They obviously missed their guy.
Yeah.
But while it is funny, and by the way, Pacheco, he could sing. He could sing. They got some levels there between the two of them. But obviously, they missed their guy. But this is something that Chief fans are talking about with CEH missing practice, with these inexperienced guys back. The people are talking about potentially bringing back Jet McKinnon. So my question to you guys is: do we roll the dice with Deneric Prince, or do we bring our guy Jerick McKinnon back? Cole, I'm going to let you lead us off here, buddy.
Yeah, so I did a 53-man roster projection immediately following mandatory minicamp. So that was like 5 weeks ago. And my hot take at the time was Jerick McKinnon will be a Kansas City Chief before the start of the season. Now, that was 5 weeks ago, and I will say every day that a camp practice rolls around and there's no news of him coming back, I am a little less confident that that happens. But my mindset behind that was just what you said. You've got Pacheco, you've got CEH, but then outside of that, I don't know. And McKinnon did have that injury at the end of the season, the core muscle surgery. I was actually surprised he was able to come back at the tail end of the postseason run there. But I was still hopeful / holding out that McKinnon, there may be mutual interest to bring a McKinnon return. My confidence is definitely lower. And here's the thing, if they don't bring him back, and that's because Deneric Prince or pick your poison there, Carson Steele, Keontae Ingram, any of those guys are really like climbing and rising, then that's fantastic to me. But I still am team bring back McKinnon if we are able. Maybe even if it's just for nostalgic times, and we owe him a touchdown in the Super Bowl when he had to slide down in the Eagles game. We owe him a touchdown in the Super Bowl.
So this is what I'll say about this. These guys over here singing because they missed their guy. That's their guy. We talk about three amigos. Jet McKinnon is that other guy that we're missing, right? I mean, that's how this thing has been working for the past couple of years. And so he's been very successful. He's helped these guys develop. Pacheco and those guys. They looked up to Jet McKinnon because he was the elder statesman in the room. He's been around the league to a lot of different places. And so when a guy has that wealth of knowledge, these guys, they really appreciate that. They really do. And they miss that. They missed having that voice in the locker room. And we've seen it. When I went to the games and I was watching him on the sidelines, he's part of that energy that Pop was getting. You know, he was able to kind of really, kind of eat off of that what Jerick McKinnon was doing. And he knew it was just okay to be who you wanted to be. And so McKinnon brought a lot of that to not just that position, but to the entire team. And so you could tell the guys, they miss him. I'm sure that they text him probably every single day and talk to him. And so McKinnon is probably at home saying, hey, look, man, I'm just waiting for a phone call. That's it. I'm sitting over here and I'm chilling until Brett and Andy decide they want to pull the trigger on me. I'm going to sit back. But, you guys, I miss you. I wish I was out there with you guys. I know how it is in training camp. I know what you're already going through. I'm sure they're giving him all the rundown, how guys are developing. My thing is with Jerick McKinnon, and I was kind of like you too, Cole. I thought the Chiefs were going to bring him back. If you're talking about a staple that is solid as a guy that you could possibly get on a football team, Jerick McKinnon is that guy. He really is. Because he has two unbelievable skill sets that's just value that any team could use. Number one is because of his elusiveness, able to see the holes, able to get, positive yards. He's a playmaker. We understand that. We've seen him time in and time out be able to come in and make plays. And number two, that I think I put him up in the echelon as probably one of the better blocking running backs. He is just absolutely phenomenal and exquisite at that. He really is. And so that's the part I think that they're going to miss the most. And that's part of the evaluation that they have to see. Because to be honest with you, as much as I love Deneric Prince, and look, Blaylock gave him the stamp of approval. When I'm talking to Derek Blaylock, Mookie for my guy, and he's telling me like this guy's a real deal, we had to listen. And so Deneric Prince has all those things about him. He's a great fill-in for Pacheco if he goes out. Same thing for CEH. We've seen how he's taking over the reps now. My question is, can he hold up blocking for pass protection, right? So when we sit there, we're talking about having a $45 million man behind you, okay? You got to block for him. You got to have everything tight that you possibly can, right? And so Jet McKinnon was just so good at it that it was just unbelievable for me, being a blocker and stuff. I could appreciate it so much having a guy that could call everything out. He's helping the lineman. He makes the lineman right in a lot of ways, right? He tells guys learn how to chip, different guys. He's teaching guys how to run up in the hole. He could teach Lewis LRZ, go to take the air out of it when you're going through practice. And so what I hear Pacheco doing is echoing some of the things that Jet McKinnon had just taught him. So the value is there with Jet McKinnon, man. I don't know if he's going to come back or not, but we understand the value that Jet McKinnon has, right? We understand that. Any of those guys might say, hey, look, maybe it's the time to let this young group start to develop, okay? We still got veteran guy in CEH, okay? And we said it on Monday. We were so hearing about him going through the PSD and stuff like that. Our hearts and our prayers go out to CEH, and hopefully he's able to recover from that. But Deneric Prince, man, is a guy that I know we have a lot of faith in, but we just don't know as far as like how that works with Jerick McKinnon right now.
And with Deneric Prince, bringing him up here, we got a question from Sleepy Face. Sleepy Face, appreciate the contribution, brother. How do you guys feel about D-Rail filling in that CEH role and Clyde actually taking a back seat, considering what he is going through? What do you guys think about that? Obviously, CEH is back at practice now, so it was just a couple day thing. But how do you guys? Do you guys think that not only is Deneric Prince going to leapfrog going from the third spot to the backup spot? Do you think that there's a real case there?
4 padded practices, 4 days of Deneric Prince getting reps immediately following Pacheco. You could take that a couple ways. You could take that as they really see him as the next guy here, and he's legitimately fighting for RB2, RB3 spot. Or with CEH kind of going through the mental health stuff he's been battling with the PTSD, they're just giving Prince as many reps as humanly possible, like they did the last training camp, just to get get the reps, get the muscle, the juices going. It's interesting. They did use CEH a little bit last year when McKinnon got hurt. He kind of came in as a third down back. So part of me wonders if they're going to be potentially doing that this year with CEH kind of doing that, and maybe Prince is kind of bearing the weight of the first and second down stuff with Pacheco when he needs a break. I also will say this: Pacheco was working with a wide receiver coach. I know we're going to talk about him a little bit more later, but he was working with Everett Wormley. He's a wide receiver coach, and I did message him saying I'm excited about Pacheco, and he said, yeah, he's looking great. The goal was to become an every down back with McKinnon gone, at least as of right now, gone. Hopefully they utilize that part of his game more. So I know we're going to talk about Pacheco more, but there's even opportunities for him to potentially be a little bit more of that pass protecting guy and catching stuff out of the backfield. So all that to say, I am very intrigued to see the direction they go. And we need some more camp practices and preseason games to figure it out for sure.
Yeah, I do believe, man, that Deneric Prince, coming into this role, I don't think CEH is worried about that right now. Okay, I think he understands, his role, and he was able to kind of really, really like kind of sink into that place of knowing, okay, I might not have to be the second guy, but all three, and that's the thing about it, because they all had success last year, he was able to take a back seat to Jet McKinnon. He was able to take a back seat to Pacheco, and there was no ego involved. And I think that's the great thing about this position is these guys all love playing together, okay? And they don't care who gets the glory. They don't care who's in there and who's able to eat. They're pushing for one another to go ahead and get that. So right now, man, because of, the PTSD and maybe taking a step back, is secondary as far as like him thinking what his role is at this moment. I think more importantly, the guys in the room are just supporting him. He understands that everybody's around him, just, giving him the type of love that he needs, to be successful. But, as far as like, you was talking about Pacheco and what role he might be able to play, CEH, he's that guy. He's a guy that could come in and catch the ball out of the backfield. Like you said, he's at third down back. We've seen flashes of it last year, like the one he caught in the end zone, the one he caught on the sideline and leaped over a guy. That's the CEH that we have. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So I'm really optimistic about CEH and his role in this offense. I don't worry about as far as how that's going to filter in. Andy, those guys are going to take care of it as far as snap-wise. I think CEH, he understands, like, look, I'm a part of this team. I bought in. I'm fine with this thing right now, wherever it goes with it, right? I think he's good with it, man. I really do.
Like we said before, I mean, CEH, that was his thing in college. I mean, he was an amazing pass catcher. They compared him to Brian Westbrook for a reason, and we just really never saw that. And it's still a great mystery to me why we haven't really seen that. We've seen flashes of it, and maybe this is the year they do utilize him in that McKinnon type role, at least for the pass catching standpoint.
Yeah. Well, okay. So Cole, let me ask you. Okay, that's a good question. Cole, why do you think that is? Why do you have any, like, as far as any thoughts on why you believe that they hadn't necessarily, because everybody's talking about a first round pick. This is who this guy is, but it hasn't quite happened the way that we thought it was going to be coming out of college. Okay, I have my thought about it. What do you think about that, my brother?
Yeah, I think some of it with CEH is every time you draft somebody, you hope the college skill set translates to the pros, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're going from college where you've got athletes, but then you get to the pros and they're all the best athletes that you're facing on the opposing team. They were the two best athletes you played against in scrimmage or in practice against your teammates. Like, all these guys are absolutely dogs. So I think some of it might just be a little bit of a athleticism thing, not fully carrying over. But yeah, there's also the aspect of, you think they would have given him maybe a bit more of a fair shake out of the backfield. And honestly, when he was healthy, he was good. And but I feel like he's hit that injury bug a couple years, and it's really affected his overall production. We saw it a couple years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Then we saw it last year, those flashes of screen passes and doing stuff where he's able to use his legs to get the job done out of the backfield. And I think that's just some of it, maybe the translation from college to the pros, but then he got the unfortunate injury bug multiple seasons in a row.
Yeah. See, and I agree with you on that, because it's very frustrating for a guy who does have, a lot of, his ability and evaluation. He's supposed to be the guy. And then when you get injuries, man, that's frustrating, not just for the team, but for the guy in himself, right? It doesn't work out like you planned it. It's like, man, I'm coming in thinking I'm going to kill it. Next thing you know, I'm behind the 8 ball, okay? I'm losing this game, all right? I'm trying to get back. And then, of course, what you hear is, you hear all the groans. You hear all the, oh, my gosh, he's a bust and all those different things. And that could weigh on a guy. That could really weigh on a dude and his production. As much as we tell guys, one snap and clear, leave it out, don't worry about these things, guys hear it. They do. They hear it. And so that's always I try to, tell people, like, give these guys a little bit of grace, man. These guys are human beings. They trying to understand this. The support that you give them and the love, that's where they work better with, right? And the team and those guys never really gave up on him. They wanted to give him space to, like, get better and find his way, right? And I think CEH, because it's like, I know I got this first round tag on me, but I got to grow into my own. Right? Same thing with Kadarius Toney. Is another guy, right? First round pick. Oh, you supposed to be this and that, and man, let it grow into his own, whatever it may look like. Okay, as long as you're helping the team, you're contributing to the team. I love guys like that. I do. I love guys like that. So, no, appreciate it.
And also, too, I'm going to put my tinfoil hat on for a second. The social media team is putting that video up there. Are they hinting at something? Do they know? Do they maybe possibly know that Jet McKinnon could be coming back? Is that, it's like a little taste of something that could be brewing in the next week or so? I don't know. It's a weird thing for them to post, them talking about a guy who's not on the team anymore. Like, Jet, we miss you. I don't know. Social media teams not in meetings with Brett Veach about that kind of stuff. But, put tinfoil hat on, conspiracy theory there. I don't know.
Nah, I think it's just good TV. Those guys are always fun. You always be able to get a soundbite from them dudes anyway. So, they'll never let you down.
Yeah. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out the best clips from Chief Concerns. And if you prefer to listen to the show, subscribe and follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and anywhere else you get your podcasts.